Coming up on News Live at 6, a former president and alum came back to campus today. How Syracuse is preserving his legacy.
Plus, 2 fallen officers were honored with a ceremony this morning at Tipperary Hill.
And yesterday marked the beginning of Black Maternal Health Week, how community members came together to support the cause. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Former President Joe Biden was honored during a ceremony this afternoon where he was joined by staff, students, even classmates from his time at SU for law school. Welcome to News Live at 6 for this Tuesday. I'm Moira Vaughan.
And I'm Isabella Galan. Our Caitlin Campbell was there this morning at Deneen Hall, and that's where we find her now. Caitlin, tell us about why this ceremony took place this morning and what the atmosphere was like.
Isabella and Moira, good evening. To say the Deneen Hall courtroom was packed this morning would be an understatement. Former President Joe Biden was here for his portrait unveiling to celebrate his accomplishments since graduating Syracuse Law School, and he says he owes it all to his education he got here back in 1968.
Everything I did as elected official was all an extension of what I've learned here at Syracuse.
Former President Joe Biden returned to the 315, reflecting on his time as a law student while celebrating his achievements in a packed courtroom.
A proud reminder to every student who walks through our library doors of what is possible when you combine a Syracuse law education with the courage to serve something larger than yourself.
The portrait, commissioned by a close classmate of Biden, will be hung in the library for future students to admire while paving their own paths.
I wanted this painting to convey the strength of the president, the courage and the determination that he has.
After people shared gratitude for Biden's connection with SU, it was time for the big reveal. As new generations join the Orange family, he has one hope.
Whatever my legacy may be, I hope it will be said that I never stopped striving for the cause of democracy.
Now, Biden really emphasized how grateful he was for his Orange family, like the classmates he made along the way, as well as sharing the alma mater with his son, Beau Biden. It truly showed how much the Orange community extends beyond your time on campus. Now I'll send it back to you guys. Reporting for CitrusTV News, I'm Caitlin Campbell.
Caitlin, thank you so much for your reporting. The city of Syracuse honored 2 police officers at Tipperary Hill today. Our Perlene Diol has more on how the city is honoring the life of Officer Jensen and Lieutenant Husak.
Thank you, guys. This morning at 9 a.m., there was an unveiling ceremony for a monument honoring 2 police officers who passed away in the line of duty.
April 14th marks the 2-year anniversary of the fatal shooting of Lieutenant Husak and Officer Jensen. Community members, elected officials, and family members gathered at James Pass Arboretum on Tipperary Hill for the unveiling ceremony of the memorial this morning. County Executive Ryan McMahon and Syracuse Mayor Sharon Owens both provided remarks during the ceremony, as well as Sheriff Toby Shelley, Sergeant Thomas Blake, and Janice McKenna, the organizer of the event.
They were both healers. They healed those that were hurting, those that were in crisis, and those that were in need. And just as importantly, they healed us, those who stood beside them. We're the ones that learned from them, and we're now the ones that will carry their example forward.
This wound for us never heals. We get a scab on it, and then little things tear the scab off, and we start over. It's just about memorializing their memory.
After the ceremony was over, many paid their respects by leaving flowers at the memorial. Officer Jensen used to live a few blocks away from where the monument stands today on Whittier Avenue. A part of this avenue was renamed to commemorate the late officer.
Janice McKenna, the Tipperary Hill Association president, says that with the remaining donation money, they plan to add lights and flags to the memorial. For CitrusTV News, I'm Perlene Diol.
Perlene, thank you so much. And just hours ago, sorority Delta 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 issued an apology on their Instagram. Now, this comes just after the sorority came under fire for displaying a banner modeled after a 1936 Berlin, Germany Olympics poster containing Nazi imagery. The incoming chapter president said in the apology, the banner never would have been approved if it had gone through the proper channels, stating, quote, "The creation and display of this banner was done without malice, but rather a lack of awareness of the meaning behind the imagery," end quote.
The banner was designed for fraternity Sigma Chi's Derby Days competition, which is a week-long fundraising event for cancer research. Though cut off, the figure in the background is performing a Nazi salute. In their statement, the sorority said they had decided to withdraw from the competition as a result, saying, quote, "This is not a representation of Tri Delta's values, and we regret associating ourselves and our community with something so deeply misaligned with our values," end quote. Well, just earlier today, William Lewandowski and Alyssa Limjuco were named the 2027 Senior Class Marshals. Lewandowski is a Whitman Leadership Scholar and shares a special connection to Syracuse University through his grandfather, who attended over 60 years ago. Limjuco is a student in both VPA and Maxwell and comes from a military family. On campus, she has worked to connect veterans and their families with relevant resources. As class marshals, they will lead their class at commencement next spring and will work with administration to discuss student perspectives throughout the year.
Do you have any library fines you need to pay off? Well, you would be in luck. Starting April 20th, students will be able to donate non-perishable food and hygiene items to the Hendricks Chapel Food Pantry as a way to reduce their library fines. The Food for Fines event, hosted by SU Libraries, will last up until the end of the spring semester. Now, depending on what that you donate, you can reduce your fines by $1 to $5 per item. More information can be found on the SU Libraries website.
Syracuse, get ready to say yeah, because Usher and Chris Brown will be coming to the JMA Wireless Dome this summer. This will be the first concert in the Dome since Metallica performed in April 2025. The duo is set to perform in Syracuse on Saturday, August 1st, and tickets for general presale will be held next Friday, April 23rd. The tour will begin on June 26th in Denver, Colorado, and run until December 11th, where the tour will wrap up in Tampa, Florida. Well, Moira, it sure felt like
Tampa, Florida
today.
A little bit.
It was so beautiful outside.
It made me so happy just to walk around, and the sun was shining. People are on the quad, and I'm wearing a tank top. It was the best weather that we could have asked for today, which is why we sent out our Brody Miller out on campus to just enjoy that weather.
Outside. It's just so beautiful.
That's when you know that it's really Syracuse campus again. Brody, how is the atmosphere out this evening?
Isabella and Moira, thank you. An absolutely beautiful night and day here in Syracuse. If you can see behind me right now, students sitting out on the quad with their friends, playing games. Even saw a professor teaching his class out here. Everyone really taking advantage of this warm weather after the long winter we've been having. Right now, it's about 70 degrees with some clouds in the sky, but not too many. And if you take a look right over here, we got someone in a hammock and also those pink flowers starting to bloom. So we're really starting to see some true elements of spring coming out after this long winter we've been having. And I do have some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is that we are going to be seeing these warm temperatures continuing into tonight. Temperatures are going to drop to about 60 degrees, but that feels like it's going to stay around the same. But the bad news is we are going to be seeing some rain the rest of the week. I'll have your full 5-day forecast in just a few. Back to you guys.
The Coffee family helped us, and we are forever grateful for their help. And at this time, why don't we show the new name of the aquarium that the Coffee family helped us with? The Harbor View Aquarium.
Ahead of its summer opening, Onondaga County officially announced the name of the upcoming city aquarium. County Executive Ryan McMahon said in that press conference you just heard that the aquarium will be named the Harbor View Aquarium. The name was selected from hundreds of submissions to the county's naming contest. The winner, Jennifer Coffey, says the idea came from the location of the aquarium, which is set to open this September.
Yesterday, Mayor Sharon Owens spoke at Cafe Sankofa in support of Black Maternal Health Week. Our Sophia Drager was there and has the details.
On Monday, community members gathered for the 10th anniversary of Black Maternal Health Week, joined by Mayor Sharon Owens.
The city of Syracuse recognizes the urgent maternal health crisis that disproportionately affects Black women, who are 3 to 4 times more likely to experience pregnancy-related complications and maternal mortality than white women due to systematic racism, implicit bias, and social determinants of health.
Advocates like Sequoia Kemp say these disparities play out during care. She shared personal stories to push for change.
We know that so many of us are connected through our reproductive stories and our birth stories. Case I'm thinking of is a client who was diagnosed with preeclampsia after birth. But she went home and did not receive any preeclampsia education. No one went over the importance of managing and monitoring her blood pressure at home. And so I remember her calling me and like, do I have preeclampsia? Like, I don't feel good. And I was like, yeah, they diagnosed you. Like, no one did a nursing education before you left? And she was like, no.
Advocates say that improving outcomes starts with better care, stronger policies, and listening to the voices of Black mothers. For Citrus TV News, I'm Sophia Drager.
Sophia Drager, thank you so much. And today, Senator Chris Ryan announced free utility assistance clinics in the coming months in partnership with the Public Law Utility Law Project. Trained advocates will provide one-on-one assistance to residents who have questions about their billing, want to reduce long-term energy costs, or check their eligibility for programs that can provide bill discounts. The first clinic will be held at the Jewish Community Center of Syracuse 1 month from today, with a second clinic set for June at the Fulton War Memorial. Anyone planning to attend the clinic is encouraged to bring a copy of their utility bills, valid identification, and documentation of any other public assistance benefits. Still ahead on News Live at 6, Israel and Lebanon are engaged in historic peace talks. Hear the latest next.
Plus, 2 of the nation's biggest airlines are considering a turbulent merger. The challenges they could face when your campus news leader continues.
Kiev, rocking through the night in Syracuse, where the music never ends. We're bringing you the sound, the glory, and the trance. From classic hits to the brand new sound, OT is the heartbeat of the underground. With every riff and every scream, we're turning your living room into a rocking dream. You're watching OTN, let the thunder roll. Hard rocking rhythms that will shake your soul. On the stage they scream, we bring the fire. OTN television takes you higher. Guitars are shredding, the crowd's going wild. Syracuse vibes with a rebellious style. Locals are legends, they all take a stand in the world of rock.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You're watching Citrus TV News, live at 6, with Moira Vaughan, Isabella Galan, and Brody Miller. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Today was the first direct meeting between the Israeli and Lebanese governments in decades. This comes after more than a month of war between Israel and the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. This is the first bilateral engagement between the two nations since 1983. The talks were brokered in Washington this morning by Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserted that Lebanon was not a part of last week's ceasefire in Iran, despite Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif insisting Lebanon was included. Israel is seeking the disarmament of Hezbollah, although the militia urged Lebanon's government to pull out of the talks, calling their efforts futile.
A possible merger between American Airlines and United Airlines is causing antitrust concerns. The talks of a merger is generating some buzz in the fiscal world, with shares of both companies rising this morning despite massive losses since the start of the U.S.-Iran war.
However, a merger would face legal challenges from both the Trump administration and state governments. The other of the big four airlines, Delta and Southwest, are also expected to fight any potential deal. The merger would heavily reduce consumer choice and cause an increase in airfare fees. Significant route overlap between the two airlines would also pose major challenges.
An appeals court has ruled a federal judge to end his contempt investigation of the Trump administration's deportation flights. The judge panel decided Chief Judge James Boasberg abused his discretion in moving forward with criminal contempt proceedings.
This decision comes a year after the Trump administration defied Boasberg's orders to temporarily stop the deportation of migrants by using a wartime authority invoked by Trump. Now, lawyers representing the deported migrants can ask the full circuit court to review the panel's decision.
Today, jury selection began in convicted sex offender Harvey Weinstein's retrial. The Oscar-winning film mogul is facing his third trial of rape allegations by hairstylist and actor Jessica Mann in a New York hotel in 2013.
Weinstein continues to deny all allegations levied against him in his two previous trials, saying court in January he said, "Acted wrongly, but I never assaulted anyone," end quote. Over 80 prospective jurors asked to be excused during the initial screening, citing an inability to be fair and impartial during the highly publicized case. The retrial is expected to last up to 6 weeks.
I'll have your full 5-day forecast after the break. Make sure to stick with us.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Well, even though it was a beautiful day today, I unfortunately cannot say the same for the rest of the week. Look at all that rain we're seeing, except for there on Saturday. Tomorrow on Wednesday, it's going to be 75 degrees with a low of 62 with some scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. So make sure you have your umbrella and your rain gear throughout the day and stay indoors when possible. And then on Thursday, the thunder's going to go away, but the rain is going to stick around. It's going to be 79 degrees with a low of 49. And then the rest of the week, it's going to be rainy except for for on Saturday, where it's going to be a high of 77 with some sun. Now, around the region, we're seeing pretty similar temperatures in the mid to low 60s and 70s there as well. And while it is going to be a rainy week, I wanted to highlight some of the things you can do while you're going to have to stay inside. Plenty of activities to do here in Syracuse. We got the Museum of Science and Technology that always has activities going on. You can go walk around there with your friends. We also have Destiny USA, one of the biggest malls here in New York. You can go and do different amenities there, like going to the movies and stuff, and then try an escape room if that's sort of your thing. And then visit the Everson Museum of Art. They also have different activities there as well. That's all I have right now, though. Back to you guys.
Brody, thank you so much, Bella. Something else that you could do if you're bored on a rainy day is go in and get a Slurpee. But bad news, Slurpees may not be as easy to get in the coming months. Unfortunately, convenience store chain 7-Eleven plans to close 645 of its locations in the U.S. during the 2026 fiscal year. An official list of locations has not yet been released, but the company has suggested it will most likely close smaller stores.
These closures are part of the company's plan to open hundreds of new locations that will be able to compete with chains like Wawa, Sheetz, and Buc-ee's. The new redesigned 7-Elevens will include expanded food and beverage options, prepared meals, and more products offered. In total, the company plans to open more than 500 stores over the next 2 years.
And coming up in sports, it's draft night in the Premier Lacrosse League. I'll take you through who's expected to be taken off the board from Syracuse.
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is
28-1.
28-1.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
The Premier Lacrosse League draft takes place tonight at 7. Welcome into sports. I'm Dan Shalam. While Syracuse men's lacrosse is riding high, players on that team are set to make the leap to the pros tonight. Attackman Joey Spallina, midfielder Michael Leo, defender Billy Dwan, and midfielder Finn Thompson could all hear their names announced tonight. Spallina has a team-leading 60 points and is ESPN Paul Carcaterra's and USA Lacrosse Magazine Dan Aresta's projected #1 overall pick. Also worth noting, Spallina's dad Joe is the general manager of the California Redwoods, who hold the #6 overall pick in the draft. Leo has 24 goals and 18 assists on the year, 2 points shy of his career high. Now, Billy Dwan, a cornerstone of the SU defense, has helped the Orange let up just 10 goals a game, top 20 in the country, and Finn Thompson has been on fire this season with a career-high 26 goals. Teams like the California Redwoods could be more inclined to pick Thompson because of former SU ties of Owen Hiltz and others on that roster. There could very well be others on the squad as well that are taken in this draft, like Luke Roa. However, those top 4 are the most likely to be selected tonight, according to PLL's Adam Lamberti. Now, while the men's lacrosse team is expected to be celebrating, so are the Buffalo Sabres. They captured the Atlantic Division title last night after a 15-year drought. Unprecedented progress for Buffalo. And the great thing for the Sabres is that they get to host on home ice. They are going to host either Boston or Ottawa in the first round. That starts on Saturday. The Sabres, as well, even being in the playoffs, is an accomplishment. We shift over to the Diamond now, where the Yankees won a thriller last night over the Angels. Los Angeles led this game 10-8 in the 8th after a 2-run blast from Mike Trout. But then Trent Grisham tied the game up in the bottom of the 9th at 10, and then the Yankees scored the winning run on a wild pitch for a dramatic finish. That win snapped a 5-game losing streak for New York. They look for back-to-back wins tonight. Catch the game on Yes starting at 7. And out west, the Mets look for a bounce back tonight against the Dodgers. Everything has been going wrong for New York as of late. Losers of 6 games in a row, and they have to go against Dodgers ace Yoshinobu Yamamoto tonight. Catch the game on SNY at 10:10. Guys, lots of happening here in the sports world.
Lots going on, Dan. Thank you for joining us at the desk. I want to start with what we first talked about, 4 potential draft picks coming from Syracuse. This is exciting. I wanted to ask, is this usual for the Premier Lacrosse League?
This is usual. Syracuse is the most championship program in the entire sport, so they usually produce a lot of talent. Joey Splina going #1, though, looking to do something that a Syracuse player hasn't done in a long time.
Dan, Shalam, thank you so much for joining us here at the desk. When we come right back, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Stay with us.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. When you wake up tomorrow, you're going to want to make sure you have your umbrella handy because it is going to be raining starting at 8 a.m. and it's going to be 61 degrees. Temperatures are going to pick up slowly throughout the day. 10 a.m., 66, noon, it's going to be 70. But it is going to start thunderstorming later on in the day, continuing throughout the rest of the night. So even though the morning is going to be pretty mild and rainy, the clouds are going to rain, so a wide array of conditions, but definitely if you're walking outside later, you're going to want to make sure to have that umbrella and those rain jackets ready.
Thank you, guys. Well, this is pretty exciting. It's been a really big year for music, technically. And I mean, award season isn't quite over yet. The American Music Awards announced the nominations for the 52nd annual show this May.
Top nominated artists include Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, Olivia Dean, Sabrina Carpenter, and Somber. Fan voting is now open until May 8th at voteama.com. I mean, guys, I just have to talk about Sabrina Carpenter. She just headlined Coachella. Have you guys seen the clips?
I have seen it.
No, I saw the Bieber clip. I didn't see her clip, though.
Her clips were absolutely incredible. She has, I think, fully solidified herself as a pop star. So seeing she's leading the nominations is insane.
It's really stacked of the nominations. There's Bruno Mars. I'm reading them off right now. New Artist of the Year. We got some Taylor Swift going on. Leon Thomas for New Artist of the Year. Alex Warren. I feel like this has just been such a year for all these nominations. It's been exciting to see all these stars come up. I watched Sabrina Carpenter on Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World,
yeah. And just seeing her kill it at Coachella.
I definitely think Taylor's going to take the cake for these ones, especially because it's
Really?
fan voting. You know, her
That's
fan
true.
base is probably one of the most biggest and most loyal, so that's what I got to say.
Even though that album isn't really that great, though. Sorry. I said what
Someone
I
had
said.
said it.
The album?
Watch out,
Are you
though.
serious?
I did not listen. I can't vote.
Okay,
I
well
can't vote.
there you go. That's enough.
I'm
reasoning
looking
for me.
at Lady Gaga for Artist of the Year
I would
because
love
she's
that.
always my artist
Would love
of
that.
every year. So
I would also agree. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you on Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Tuesday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Moira Vaughan.
And I'm Isabella Galan. Have a great night, Syracuse.